Elite Facts presents
10 celebrities who have ruined their reputations.
10.
Michael Jackson. Before the untimely death of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson ruled the world. He had number one record after number one record after number one record. There'll never be another Michael Jackson, although there may be when it comes to controversy. Unfortunately, no one will remember him for his fantastic solo career in the music industry, but rather they'll probably be more likely to remember him for all the outrageous accusations and antics he pulled during the 1990s and into the 2000s. It all started when he stated on national television that he had shared his bed with young boys that visited his Neverland Ranch. And it didn't stop there, as he had already been arrested on molestation charges, which were eventually dropped. And then later on in his life, he was filmed dangling his infant from a hotel balcony. Even after his death, his reputation has taken a nosedive as child pornography was discovered at his home. Sorry, Mike, your music is great, but your reputation is what most people will remember you by most.
9.
Lindsay Lohan. Poor Lindsay Lohan. She had her whole career ahead of her. Lindsay Lohan started her professional life as a gifted actress and then dabbled as a singer. Unfortunately, as it happens with many young stars, Lohan wasn't able to take the pressure of stardom. After being introduced to partying, underage drinking, and even drug use by her own mother, Dina Lohan, Lindsay went off the rails with her constant partying and substance abuse. She's been under arrest many times and has been fired from movies for being undependable. All in all, she's undergone 250 days of rehab since 2007. She's faced 20 court cases in front of 4 judges, and she has performed about 70 days of community service.
8.
David Hasselhoff. Hey, we don't really want to hassle the Hoff. David Hasselhoff in the 1980s was the pure definition of cool. With hit shows under his belt like Knight Rider and Baywatch, you'd think his career couldn't take any major hits, right? Well, it didn't. That is until 2007, when his daughter decided to take it upon herself to release footage of Hasselhoff inebriated. The video showcased a shirtless Hoff drunkenly trying to eat a Wendy's hamburger while arguing incoherently with her. The reason she took the video was to show David what he was like when he was drunk, and was used as a wake-up call to snap him out of his alcohol addiction. The result was that Hasselhoff lost custody rights to his daughters temporarily and lost all respect from his fans. Needless to say, though, that this actually worked, as we're happy to say that as of right now, his life is back on track and he's getting frequent work, but that black spot will always be on his career.
7.
Britney Spears. Probably the easiest example of a celebrity tarnishing their career, pop singer Britney Spears, who got her start on the new Mickey Mouse Club, destroyed all credibility when she began to appear in public with Paris Hilton. She's been caught countless times in drunken states and performing various acts of almost pure insanity, like that time she shaved her head bald. There are some things you can't blame her for, like when she almost dropped her child after being overwhelmed by paparazzi. But possibly her lowest moment was when she broke up with K-Fed via text message as he was in the middle of being filmed for Much Music. Actually, that may have been her best idea yet, depending on how you look at it.
6.
Charlie Sheen. Okay, if anything, this may have helped his career even further. It honestly depends on how you look at it. Now, yes, Charlie Sheen does have drug and alcohol issues, which does have a negative impact on his career as a whole, but things didn't really start to heat up until his infamous outburst towards the end of his tenure on the hit comedy show 2.5 Men. Arguably, the best part of that show was Sheen himself, but nobody really realized this until he was fired after making disrespectful comments to the show's frontrunner and creator, Chuck Lorre. Following his dismissal, Sheen suffered what would be a meltdown of epic proportions, during which he went on YouTube posting messages about how he was a warlock with tiger blood and a rock star from Mars. Winning. Some people say his career never really recovered, which is true in some respect, as he hasn't had steady work since. However, those outrageous outbursts pretty much made him more popular than ever. Did it have a negative influence? Of course it did. Were the things he was saying entertaining? Yes. So entertaining, in fact, that he embraced it in his future work. So really, depending on how you look at it, it's either helped his career or destroyed it.
5.
Chris Brown. Oh boy, here we go. You can't have a list of celebrities ruining their careers without mentioning Chris Brown. Chris Brown nearly accomplished this when he made the decision to physically assault his now ex-girlfriend Rihanna on the morning of the Grammy Awards. It was reported that Brown attacked Rihanna when she found text messages from other women on his phone. Brown was charged with 2 felonies for which he received 5 years probation and 6 months community service. Because of this, fans began to pick his music apart for the simple fact that they didn't like him as a person, and people started to realize that he wasn't even really a good artist to begin with. His early work was decent, I guess, but at the time of the attack, his most recent album, Royalty, had been referred to as prosaic and repetitive. Chris Brown may have made amends with Rihanna, but fans cannot let go of his violent past.
4.
Tiger Woods. Up until November of 2009, Tiger Woods was considered by many, if not all, to be the perfect role model. And why not? He was the most talented golf player in the world, was clean-cut in appearance, and always portrayed himself as a family man. What more could you ask for? Well, how about actually being a family man? In November of 2009, it was discovered by the tabloids that Woods had repeated extramarital affairs. With his reputation destroyed, many of his biggest commercial sponsors withdrew their support. His wife divorced him and got full custody of their children. His life took such a downturn that he decided to withdraw temporarily from golf and enter therapy. He's since taken significant steps towards making a comeback. However, his professional golf career has taken quite the downturn since, including his poor performance at the July 2015 British Open. And he was even replaced as cover star for the EA PGA Golf video game.
3.
Paul Reubens. So this one at the time came as a huge shock. In the 1980s, Paul Reubens was pretty much the king of children's programming in America with his hit show Pee-wee's Playhouse. The show was so popular that it ran for nearly 10 years with 2 different incarnations of the show. However, in 1991, Reubens' success came to a screeching halt as he was arrested for masturbating in public in an adult movie theater, and the public's view of the star changed instantly. Reubens stayed out of the public eye for several years, but in 2001, Reubens finally started his comeback with the movie Blow.
2.
Bill Cosby. Probably the most recent controversy to appear on this list, Bill Cosby was once a beloved actor. However, it came to everyone's surprise when multiple rape allegations against Cosby caused his career and legacy to take a nosedive. On October 16, 2014, comedian Hannibal Buress' stand-up routine went viral after he called Cosby a rapist. Later, multiple women came forward claiming that Cosby had sexually assaulted them. This was so serious that TV Land pulled The Cosby Show from the air. Netflix postponed an upcoming comedy special featuring Cosby, and NBC canceled Cosby's upcoming sitcom. At this point, his career is pretty much dead.
1.
Axl Rose. It should come as no surprise that Axl Rose isn't exactly the nicest person. In fact, most Guns N' Roses fans despise him for his live show antics, like showing up ridiculously late like a true rock star diva, refusing to perform so a roadie could pick up his jacket from another country. Seriously, look it up. And the countless fights he's gotten into with fans. Yes, he might have been the frontman for one of the most iconic rock bands of the latter part of the 1980s, but it doesn't mean he's a likable person. While the band was successful with the release of their first 3 albums, Rose's personal life took over the newspaper headlines as he was accused of domestic abuse by his ex-wife. This, of course, led Axl to respond with erratic and violent outbursts. You could see it from a mile away that Rose's actions would lead to the inevitable breakup of Guns N' Roses. While other members went on to enjoy their careers with other successful bands, Rose never regained his status on the throne, releasing albums, including one under the Guns N' Roses name, to zero commercial success. It wasn't until recently that Rose made amends with former GNR guitarist Slash, and they're now currently touring again as Guns N' Roses, comedically titled the Not in This Lifetime Tour.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.